The world certainly has undergone various forms of revolution. Now, the different ages bringing on their innovation to bear on humanity and development. The digital revolution occurrence is characterized by its fusion of technologies that is blurring the lines between the physical, digital, as well as the biological spheres in the many fields of endeavor. Now, broadcasting and the media generally is at the fore in getting your attention on the spectrum too. Undoubtedly, a lot of dynamics go into this technology convergence down to the mode of transmission, as you get to see. Well, at least you're watching one of such. For present-day broadcasting and industry generally, experts and also industry watchers are on the lookout for opportunities to project this. Now, the National Broadcasting Commission, the Conference of African Broadcasters, well, that's AFRICAST, is a summit to actually gather broadcasting pundits for such fruitful discussions. Now, AFRICAST 2018 is here, and this is the 12th biennial outing. Its charge this season is on how best to deliver digital switchover, that's the DSO, in Africa. What are the opportunities? At least for Nigeria, what are the drawbacks for the connection? That is of interest to us as well this evening on Nigeria Today. So welcome, my name is Blessing Abu. Thank you for joining us. You're seated already in the studio to take a look at the dynamism to the digital switchover. Let's welcome first Dr. Emmanuel Ufo. Oh no, I promised I was going to get this right. Ufo Hubiri. Of course, he's an associate professor of mass communication at Delta State University, Abraka. Welcome to the program.
Thank you very much.
And he's also the head of department mass communication at the same university.
It's a pleasure.
You're welcome to the program. Okay. If you're already a friend in the house, you should know that you welcome your friend in a special way. The Chief Operating Officer with Star Times, of course, a senior colleague here, and I'd like to welcome Tunde Aino to the program.
Thank you.
Yes, for you gentlemen, this is not first time that Africa will be giving you the kind of opportunities this year is set to do as well. And I'm sure over the years, you've been at a different summits and it has presented its many faces. What do you think is new that we've not heard that this year's outing is looking towards? Dr. Emmanuel.
Yeah. The 2016 AFRICAST that held here in Abuja, the main focus was on the transiting from the analog, from terrestrial transmission to the digital terrestrial transmission, and a target was set. And I think since after then, some achievements were recorded. For instance, there was a kind of pilot startup in some states, beginning with Plateau State, Abuja, or some state in the South Nigeria. It was well discussed today. At least there is a startup. Today, again, we discuss it again on how improvement could be made so that every sector, every part of the country could be covered in that.
Okay, I'm going to make you step back a bit and let's even get to the nitty-gritty of what it takes to actually cross over, switch over. These are technical terms that for those who are in the industry, some are even finding it difficult to actually understand how much more someone watching. They've heard we're going to have this digital switchover. In the last how many times Nigeria had failed to actually do that comprehensively. Well, Mr. Aino, let's have a feel of what it takes to actually have this. This is not a new phenomenon across the world. We are already trying to do this in bits and phases like you already started. What does it mean when we say we're actually having a digital switchover? For the layman.
For the layman, digital switchover means that we will start receiving television signals digital. Of course, it's been analog all these years, and for good reason, the ITU decided that all countries should transit from analog to digital due to the obvious benefits. One of the benefits is you have opportunity to transmit many more channels using much less spectrum, better quality audio and video. That is the advantage that digital transition brings. Okay. Now, for us in Nigeria, yes, the digital switchover will provide opportunities for many more channels that will otherwise wouldn't have the opportunity, because as you may know, the broadcast spectrum was already exhausted anyway in most, actually the big cities, you know, Lagos, Abuja, Port Harcourt, and the rest. So with the digital switchover, many more people can have new channels. And for the viewers, that means more choice, more content. For the government, that means they have, you know, they can use the spectrum in a more cost-effective manner. As you know, mobile internet.
All this will be coming on the spectrum?
Yes, of course, because when you do digital, you use less spectrum. So the extra spectrum you can use for other things.
Okay, also this has been described that Nigeria coming on board, this will make it a big, or the biggest digital television market for us in Africa. Already, content is what people are now looking towards, because if you have such space to give out now, what will be filling up for such spaces is what we should be looking at now, and that has been the key for most stakeholders in the last, because at least the last edition, which was 2016, like you already started, there had been the talk about content. What do you see happening between 2016 and today? What has changed? At least let's take a look at what even you are teaching now back in the schools, or what is happening on the school front.
To begin with, the prospect, we are looking at, Nigeria is projecting about 30 million subscribers. 30 million. You know, the digital terrestrial transmission, some would say, is for the low-income earner, but it may not really be so. But those who are low-income earners who can't subscribe to digital television, direct digital television, could easily access this without pay. It's a kind of open to and a free-to-air television, just a matter of getting the box. Now, content. A lot of persons came last year and spoke on
2 years
content.
ago.
Yes, 2 years ago, and spoke on content generation, content creators, and content distributors. The issue of content in Nigeria is not a big issue.
So what is the big issue?
The big issue is actually transiting. And the question we keep asking is, who is afraid of digital transmission? The broadcast stations are ready. The content creators are ready. The subscribers, that's the audience, is ready. But we don't know where the issue is. For instance, from last year, 2 years ago, when this issue came up, when Pinnacle came up with their partners from the US, they experimented. But I can tell you, as at this moment, they've not been paid a kobo. It's not a government something per se. It's a private sector issue. But there is something wrong, which we can't pinpoint, actually.
Okay, maybe Mr. Aino, well, Mr. Aino is with Star Times, and I know that is another platform which the digital pay TV is already at least filling in. Now, where is the disconnection, or who is, let me use the word question, yes, who is afraid of digital transition or transmission, as the case may be? Where do we come in, and what is the disconnect in all of this?
Well, it's not a matter of anybody being afraid of digital transmission. The issue is that for DSO to occur, there are some conditions that have to be met. First, you need digital signals. Digital signals that should cover at least 95% of the country.
And which we've not been able to do.
Second, people need to have the devices, because currently available analog television cannot receive digital signals. So if you want to receive digital signals, you must have the set-top box or an integrated TV set. So these are the big issues. Now, in other countries, mostly in the Western countries, governments came in to try to subsidize these devices, you know, to make it easier for people to afford them. But unfortunately, it's not been like that in Nigeria. As you well know, the economy has been doing very well in the last 2 or 3 years. So obviously, the government hasn't been able to fund these subsidies to enable more people to have the devices. Now, he mentioned Pinnacle. Yes, Pinnacle is one of the signal distributors. We also have ITS, which is an offshoot of NTA. They both face the same problem. They need funding to be able to roll out. ITS has been operating in JAWS for more than 2 years, and Pinnacle also for more than a year. They've been in Abuja and Kaduna. ITS later extended to Ilorin, Osogbo, and Enugu. And like he said, there hasn't been any funding coming from government. There's no funding from government, and the regulator hasn't fixed the rates that broadcasters should pay the signal distributors. So that's the problem. So we have two problems here. We can't get the signals around the country, and we can't get people to own the devices that they need to watch digital terrestrial television. That's the pay TV now.
So where are we now? Because I know, just like you've already raised these concerns of why we've not been able to move at the speed which we would have loved to. Almost like this is about the third time we have moved to, okay, when we'll have a complete switchover. 2015 was there, 2017, and already 2018 is running up on its own move. So where else, or what else do we need to do? Yes, we've talked about funding, but what are industry watchers doing? What are stakeholders actually pushing? It's in our best interest, isn't it, for us to actually have this? So,
yeah. Okay. Okay. I think the policy was, was faulty from the beginning. So that policy needs to be looked at and tweaked. So that's policy.
When you say faulty, exactly where are you hinging your complaints?
Well, I don't want to go into the details, but
at least the people must know, because if we've looked forward with such glee to actually have us turn over this anyway.
If I may just add something to it.
Okay.
The targeted set of what we call the box.
Set-top boxes.
Set-top boxes. We needed, or we still need 30 million. I don't know how much the box costs.
Well, if you ask how much it costs, are you talking about the market price of the box or the subsidized price of the box?
Okay, let's have both ways. Okay, and somebody will be having informed decision on what to.
Well, what the end user would pay.
The few boxes that were sold earlier were sold for 1,500, but that was subsidized by government.
Okay.
And there is no more funding for further subsidy. Okay. The market price of the boxes should be around 10,000, thereabout.
It's about 15,000 actually.
Okay.
In the current exchange rate, without subsidies, about 15,000.
And that is high.
Yes. Okay, 15,000. Now we need 30 million of such. So you're going to spend, multiply by 360 naira, so you know the amount. So industry watchers and policy makers are actually of the opinion that we should set up a company or companies in Nigeria that can actually produce these boxes locally. If we can have 30 million boxes produced, instead of spending 15,000 per box. So we have that money here. It's going to generate work for our people here, kind of local content. Then these boxes again, if they are produced locally, they will still be subjected to quality check.
But do we have such capacity?
No. In West Africa, there is no company. There's no laboratory. Ghana is just setting up one.
Okay.
And to do that, it will cost you money. Okay. So the issue.
No, I think I should. Let me correct that.
Okay.
All the boxes sold for the DSO were actually assembled in Nigeria.
They were?
Yes. 13 companies were licensed to assemble set-up boxes in Nigeria by NBC in 2015, I think. And all the boxes sold for the DSO were assembled in Nigeria. I think the problem is not the capacity is there. We have about 4 or 5 companies
that are ready to do,
that are already doing, including TV enterprises.
Okay.
NTA TV enterprises actually manufacture some boxes in Osogbo. We have Gospel. There are 5 of them anyway.
Okay. Yeah. All right, gentlemen, when we return from this break, because I'm going to let us go on a break, of course. This TV and technology has permitted me to do that, so we can actually ruminate over some of these other areas where we redirect some of our attention as we move on the spectrum. You're watching Nigeria Today, and our focus is on Africa's 2018, of course. Well, just the dynamics of what the digital switchover will be bringing to your bedroom, to your living room, and wherever you'll be connected to actually watch a program like this. We'll be right back after the break.
The Nigerian Television Authority News 24 channel, your dependable all-round news station, offering you world-class news programs, documentaries, spotlights, promos and information highlights. Take advantage of our network reach and advertise your interest, goods and services with us. NTA News 24, first among equals with digital broadcasting. You can reach us on channel 21 terrestrial TV and channel 101 on the Star Times platform. For more inquiries, please call Henry on 0803 379 0884. Join us today.
Yes, welcome back. The program is Nigeria Today, and our focus is on the dynamics of broadcasting in the digital era. And of course, broadcasters, industry watchers are all gathered or converging on Abuja. For the next 3 days, there will be brainstorming, there will be networking, information sharing, and those are some of the things that we want to see how they'll profit our people. Yes, we've talked about issue of funding, on why we're actually not moving in the pace with which we should move. Yeah, you already said the percentage we have is just still very low, and this is not in the best of interest for a nation that is already moving in that drive for technology and diversification. We need to see how we can harness some of this. So let's take a look at what other opportunities are there. Yes, we know you've already talked about manufacturers even for these set-top boxes, and we know for other equipment that will be needed to actually make technology give that necessary impact. All industry personnel are already gathering in Abuja, and let's see some other things that you will be expecting to see in the next 3 days as broadcasters meet over this. Okay?
Yeah. Well, the main focus is on this digital switchover. Broadcasters and other persons in the industry will be talking about the benefit of content generation. We'll be looking at the traditional broadcasting system, whereby the television was just a box, a set. So we'll be looking at it from the angle where the television has become a palm. For instance, if I do have a phone here, this becomes my television. My computer is my television. So the television is mobile. The television is everywhere. And with this, if Nigeria goes into the next stage of digital terrestrial transmission, viewers, subscribers can watch television from wherever they go to on the internet. Even the person in the village can watch it. And you have a whole number of content providers, producers, and distributors. So we'll be looking at the benefit from that perspective and push on so that it can come to realization, so that we be left behind.
Okay, let me, before I come to Tunde to see what other things that at least persons like him, officers like him will be looking at from their own company view as well as other areas. For you as a teacher for mass communication, you know, traditional media versus what is happening for social media and all of this one, the narrative should change. We see these days youth vesting their energies on unnecessary things and unnecessary abuse, and some of those things people across the world watch, read, and see the kind of content they generate. Is that the kind of things we want to see, having this kind of wide spectrum for us to play with? What would you want to see change in terms of content and redirection of our energies to building the continent?
Actually, there is a course in mass communication we call New Dimensions in Communication. It has to do with digital communication. And we actually teach our students the history of journalism, to what it is right now. And in the present time, we are into digital communication. So we teach them from the perspective of entrepreneurship, what this current digital age, what I call the fourth revolution, what they could benefit from it, content creation that is in conformity with societal values. We teach them how they can generate content they can put on the YouTube and generate money. I personally make an example of this Gangnam Style, this guy from South Korea who played we Gangnam Style. I think somebody Park who made over 600 million naira from just online. He didn't make, in a sense, he did not go to a recording studio. It's just online like that. And there have been other, I gave them examples of people like this young Nigerian comedian with that little girl. What's her name? Emanuela. That young man was not a graduate, just with a phone. So we teach them that way. We give them example of Mark Zuckerberg, you know. So we.
So using forms, local images, things around us that should promote, not those ones that's actually removed from us. No. Those are kind of things we're looking at.
Exactly, because with the coming of the digital age, the internet does have its bad side and a good side. Certainly, the bad side for blackmailing, for 419, let me use it that way. But us in the academic sector is to teach the students to adopt the good values, the entrepreneurial aspect of digital communication for marketing, for exhibition of their product, exhibition of their talents, and not the twerking of with their backyard. No, we don't encourage that. So many things.
So you're looking out for such opportunities as you move around in the next
exactly.
week. Okay, Tunde, let's get to you. Yes, TV consumer will have the aim of gaining more, even as we have this digitization process. What are your own fears if we still do not make do in covering the entire country in a matter of time? What are your fears, at least, as one who is already even on the field watching?
Well, you see, the good thing is digital terrestrial television is already available in most parts of the country. Yeah. It's just that it's on the pay TV networks. You may be aware that the pay TV networks, StarTimes and GoTV, are also doing digital terrestrial television. Sure. But the government's own DSO program is aimed at the free TV providers, free to air.
Free to air.
If, for any reason, the government is unable to cover the length and breadth of the country with digital signals, that's on the free TV platform, perhaps it might make sense to ride on the existing networks. The existing networks as in StarTimes or GoTV. Because a network for digital terrestrial television is basically the same, whether it's used for pay TV or free TV.
But wouldn't the aim of which we always wanted to have this total switchover to be defeated?
It will not stop the switchover. What is the switchover? You want people to start watching TV digital. It doesn't matter from which network it's coming. It doesn't matter from which devices they're watching. You want people to watch TV digital. So, if for any reason, well, ideally we should be able to complete DSO and cover the country. But if for any reason we cannot, we have a fallback. The government have a fallback plan.
I think I have something to say there.
Okay, briefly. In 30 seconds.
Yes.
Because
what I want to say there is that
switching over from this program to another.
Yes, there are two different philosophies. Okay. What StarTimes and GoTV provide right now is expansion of their business. Yes, that's the truth. It's expansion of the business because you have to pay for subscription. In addition, you pay for subscription. But what we're talking about, digital terrestrial transmission of television, you have this set of box that you need to pay anything. I think just about 1.5. Yes, so it's a free. What those two television stations are actually providing, they provide what you can call free to air television, but through a decoder that you subscribe to. But in the other case, you get up your box, you don't subscribe.
And which is the business the government is looking for everyone. Isn't that so? Thank you very much, gentlemen. And that's it on this edition of the program, Nigeria Today. Before we go, we'd like to appreciate Dr. Emmanuel Ofo-Biri. He's an Associate Professor, Mass Communication at Delta State University, Abraka, and also Head of Department of the same department of the same university. Thank you very much for coming.
It's a pleasure.
Wish you a fruitful time.
Thank you.
As you join other industry watchers to do these 3 days of brainstorming. Also like to appreciate Mr. Tunde Aino, Chief Operating Officer at Star Times. Thank you for coming on the program.
It's a pleasure.
Thank you.
Okay, you all can also watch this edition of the program or any other one at all online at youtube.com/NTA News 24 Hub. My name is Blessing Abu. Enjoy the rest of the day.